almost forgot to unmute the mic again. Hey! Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, things are a little weird today. For sure, we're gonna be having our Lore Love Day on a Thursday. What? I was really sick on Monday and couldn't really be chatting up a storm while I'm sneezing my face off. So, I'm better. We're here. And amazing news, we made affiliate over the weekend. Like, my God, what? I wasn't even streaming and, like, you guys blew my mind. Not only did we make affiliate, but I got my first sub. So major shout out to Zelshot for that sub. Thank you. Thank you to your community. Thank you, Amused Virus, for helping me get that final last little stretch to reach affiliate. Like, good God, you guys are amazing. I cannot thank you enough. Yeah, over this past weekend, like, oh my goodness, over this past week, we had Amused follow, we had Trey follow, we had Getting Things Done follow, Agent Spacely follow, Anoku, Zian, Ginny Lou, Detective Pancakes, Seagarmon, Woolrammer, and Natiki all followed. So thank you guys for being those final ones to get me to affiliate. Like, oh my God. And not only that, but I got my emotes approved. So we have emotes, you guys. I'm going to be throwing some of those in chat. There's some Pride D20s. There's some baby cookies. And, of course, there's some roses. We've got emotes. Oh, and you may be wondering what this little adorable fuzzy floofball is down here. That is Capamon. So this little creature's name is Mel, and he's going to be joining us on our streams from now on. Hi, Mel. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started talking about this Persona lore. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start off with Persona 3 and work our way through up to Persona 5, including some Persona 5 Royal. Obviously, there's going to be some spoilers, so if you haven't yet played through the Persona games and you want to get through them, then whenever we get to that Persona game, I suggest dipping out. But we're going to start with 3, work our way up to 5. I will give warnings per each game about, hey, we're talking about this game. There's going to be spoilers. So, alright, first up, Persona 3. By the way, those of you that don't know the Persona series, if you're into JRPGs, I highly recommend it. Can't recommend it enough. They are an amazing JRPG series. I don't know how you wouldn't have heard of it if you're in the gaming world or know of any JRPGs. You probably know of this one. They have anime games, they have dancing games, like, they have manga. But, yeah, my Shadow Chris, my lovely partner, my husband, my beloved, streams Persona 5 on Saturdays, Persona 5 The Royal on Saturdays on Merciless Mode, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. He's doing a Let's Play of Persona 3 Portable, I believe? I don't remember if it's Portable or FES, forgive me, on his channel right now, so you can go ahead and pop over to youtube.com/ShadowChris if you want to see that. And we're going to get into talking about Persona 3 right now. Can you tell I'm excited? It's totally not because I have an energy drink right here, non-named, not brand energy drink that, you know, I don't know what I'm going with this. You made it! Hi, Shadow Chris! Hey, look! Mel says hi. Alright. You made it just in time. We were just talking about Persona 3. I just shouted out buffer issues. You're good, you're good. I was just talking about your YouTube channel where you're playing Persona 3, since that's the one we're starting off with the lore. I already gave all my thank yous to all the people who followed and got me to that affiliate. I threw my emotes up, which you can see in the chat, which is, oh God, I have to get used to things. Over here, I got my emotes. Yeah. How do people point in videos? I'm having such a hard time figuring out which way to point. It's above my left hand. I'm looking at it, and it's on my right side, but I have to use my left hand to point. That's confusing. Okay, Persona 3 lore. Let's move on. By the way, how is the volume? Am I good? Am I being too loud? Is the music too loud? Can you hear the music? Because I have music playing. I know I'm being obnoxious right now, so you might not be able to hear it. Got like some dubsteppy stuff going on in the background. Alright. So, in each of the personas, there's some things they have in common. One being the personas. You play as a persona user who has the ability to capture different personas, and you fight shadows, and there's always some big evil bad guy at the end that's behind all of it, and blah blah blah. End of the world thing. In the more recent personas, there's like this whole other world that these shadows exist in that you have to go to fight them, but that's not the case in Persona 3. In Persona 3, instead of going to another world, at midnight every single night, the whole world freezes. Like, every person in the world freezes, and these shadows walk amongst everyone freely. And there's a huge, huge tower that grows out of the ground, and so instead of having to travel anywhere, the Persona users are just awake and not frozen during this time. Anyone that would be awake and out and about is, like, you can see a coffin where they normally are. Sometimes people can be awake in the midnight hour, as they call it, or dark hour. And they usually get eaten by shadows, and that's what causes something called the apathy syndrome, which basically means since their soul was eaten, they go into practically a vegetative state and are zombie-like. So in order to fight the shadows, you need to be able to summon your persona, which in Persona 3, they decided to make a huge splash by having an evoker be what you need to summon your persona, i.e., a thing shaped like a gun that you have to put to your head and pull the trigger in order to be able to summon your persona. Now, there's been talk that the reason that the evoker is shaped like a gun and all that in order to summon your persona is you have to be in a state of heightened fear in order to be able to summon said persona. You have to be able to get into that state of heightened fear and face it, and that's how you summon your persona. Now, that giant tower I mentioned that grows every night during the midnight hour is called Tartarus, which is named after both the Greek mythological third primordial deity that represents deep darkness, as well as the location described as being far below the earth. It is a deep abyss, even far below Hades, i.e. hell for the Greek belief, where divine beings that pose a threat to the gods of Olympus, the Titans, so if you know Hercules, if you know, like, God of War, the Titans, yeah, they were sealed in Tartarus, which makes sense why these huge, evil, wicked shadows are in Tartarus. And then, at kind of the end of Persona 3, you hear the being that's rolling over said Tartarus is Nyx, aka the goddess of night from Greek mythology. Makes sense, goddess of night, midnight hour. Otherwise, hi, Janine! Hi! Oh, I love that little emote, it's so cute! We're talking Persona 3 lore. We're going Persona 3 right now, then we'll be hopping into Persona 4, and then Persona 5. Going through all the lore. So, in Persona 3, this was one of my favorite games! Nice! I didn't honestly used to know anything about Persona until... I'm so excited! I got with Shadow Chris, or I started dating Shadow Chris. God, this sounds horrible. Goodness! And so I started dating Shadow Chris, and then he got me really into Persona. And specifically Persona 5, I watched him play all through and did the voices for him because he did a little Let's Play on his channel that never got finished because videos got lost, unfortunately. But he's doing Persona 5 Royal on Merciless on his stream on Saturdays. He's doing Persona 3 on his YouTube channel right now. So, like, I've gotten quite familiar with Persona. Like, I've seen the animes, and of course, for this, I've done hella research because there's a lot of exciting lore throughout this series. And it's got a lot to do with the different mythologies, which I absolutely love. So, thank you for tuning in, Ginny Lou. Am I saying that right, by the way? Is it Ginny Lou, like Ginny, like Harry Potter Ginny? I apologize if I've been saying it wrong. Also, thank you for following a few days ago. I don't even think I was streaming when you followed, but thank you. So in Persona 3, there's a lot of talk of... Yes! Okay, good. I'm glad. I feel so bad when I pronounce things wrong. In Persona 3, there's a lot of talk of the fall that is destined to be the end of the world, and that is when Nyx is supposed to descend upon the world and destroy humanity, which is something that is actually talked about in Greek mythology. So that was ripped straight from Greek mythology. But, I mean, there's a lot to work with there, so I can't really blame anyone for wanting to take inspo from there. Because they had hella imagination back before technology was a thing. And then you've got some of the more interesting personas that you see in Persona 3, Erebus being one of them. And in Greek mythology, Erebus was the son of the primordial god, Chaos, and represented the personification of darkness and shadows, which filled all corners and crannies of the world. He was the offspring of Chaos alone and brother of Nyx. So, you know, that's kind of why he's, that's one of the more sinister, evil personas you come across. And the protagonist persona, Orpheus, in Greek mythology was actually a musician, poet, and prophet. That's a little bit of an interesting one, right? His parent, let's see. He was considered the best musician and poet of all and perfected the lyre, which is why you see a lyre upon Persona Orpheus' back. Fun little facts. And then Polydeuces, one of the other personas from your party members, was also known as Pollux, was the twin brother of Castor. Both Castor and Polydeuces had the same mother, Leda, but the Polydeuces' father was Zeus. So, but Polydeuces' father was Zeus, while Castor's father was a mortal man named Tyndareus. Because of this, Castor was mortal, while Polydeuces was immortal. When Castor died, Polydeuces asked Zeus to let him share his own immortality with his twin to keep them together, and they were transformed into the Gemini constellation. So, you know, that kind of explains Akihiko, whose persona is Polydeuces. That explains kind of his self-sacrificing nature. Then we get over to Palladian. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's ancient Greek. Forgive me. Is Aegis's persona. And in Greek and Roman mythology, a palladium or Palladian was an image of great antiquity on which safety of a city was said to depend. So, you know, defender of a city, pretty fitting for Aegis. It was especially significant when it was stolen from the citadel of Troy. I'm sure anyone who has studied any kind of Greek history has heard of the city of Troy and everything that happened there. Aegis then later obtains the persona Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, courage, inspiration, civilization, philosophy, justice, law, mathematics, strength, art, craft, skills, and reason. That's a lot, but it makes sense with Aegis's character. She represents just decisions and strategic warfare and is the only goddess allowed to carry Zeus's thunderbolts. So that's kind of similar to, spoiler alert, kind of similar to how Aegis is able to take on the protagonist persona's abilities later on at the very, very end of the game. And being able to obtain, more personas. It's kind of like the protagonist passed the Thunderbolt, passed Zeus's Thunderbolt, so to speak, onto Aegis. And then moving right on along, we are going to Yukari's persona, Io, which according to Greek mythology was the priestess to Hera, wife of thunder god Zeus, who Zeus took a liking to, and in order to avoid detection, hid her in a shrouded place where he seduced Io with clouds. Hera was immediately suspicious and figured out what was going on. Hera knew, so Zeus decided to try and disguise Io as a cow. Yeah, you heard that right. He turned this person that he was sleeping with into a cow. But Hera wasn't stupid and saw right through it and was like, you know what? Zeus, I demand you give me that cow as a present. And of course, Zeus couldn't really come up with an excuse as to why that shouldn't happen without trapping himself, so he did end up having to give Io over to Hera, who assigned a multiple-eyed giant Argus Panoptes as her guard, which kind of explains Yukari's jealous and unwarranted negativity towards the other female persona users, because, Io was just, kind of minding her own beeswax, was romanced by a guy, and then betrayed. Just completely and utterly betrayed and left to rot. So, anyone with that kind of persona, that kind of feeling within them, bound to be a little jealous. Because Yukari just, hates on every female that gets brought in, for real. She questions Mitsuru all the time, whether Mitsuru wants to save people because it's the right thing or just because they're persona users. She questions Fuka on her ability just because she seems frail. Yukari's not the nicest of people. And then we're going to move on to Isis, which is someone that Yukari eventually is able to get as her persona. And Isis was an Egyptian was a goddess in ancient Egypt who was worshipped as the ideal mother and wife, patron of nature and magic, friend of slaves, sinners, artisans, and downtrodden, as well as known for listening to the prayers of the wealthy, maidens, aristocrats, and rulers. So this kind of reflects Yukari's nature to care, as well as, spoiler, as well as her desire to bring the protagonist back once he passes in the extra game that came out after Persona 3, but not related to Persona 4. Spoiler over. Then we move on to Hermes, which is the youngest of the 12 Olympians, the messenger god in ancient Greece. His main task was to aid travelers in their journey, also to guide the dead to the underworld, where he could enter or leave without any hindrance. This kind of shows Junpei, reflects Junpei's childish nature, as well as why he wants to lead so bad. That he feels like that's what he's supposed to do, that's what he has to do, he has to help these people, and the best way is to lead them. And again, why he's kind of so childish about I don't get it, why is he the leader? No. And then moving on to this section is going to be very much spoilers alerts. Jin's persona. Moving on to Jin's persona, Moros. Moros is a personification of doom. Legit doom. Straight up. He's the son of Nyx, and manifests as a shapeless spirit that bears the responsibility of revealing the day of one's impending demise. So, personification of doom, bringer of death, pleasant all around. So it's no surprise that Jin, who has this as their persona, is a bad guy. Big surprise when you see that. It's just like, whoa, you fixed it. You fixed the buffer issues. I'm glad about that. And then, let's see. Now we're going to talk about Mitsuru's persona. Bad internet. I have you on 160p. Oh no, that sucks. Do you still have your internet on and it's like trying to connect to something? Is that why? Or is it you just have like bad data wherever you are? Mitsuru's persona Penthesili. Nope, rain. I didn't even realize it was raining. Makes sense, it's dark outside. I really should have figured out how to pronounce these things before stream. But too late now. Penthesili. That's what I'm going with. Is a figure in Greek mythology in which she is an Amazonian queen. She is the daughter of Ares, the god of war, and Otrera. Penthesili. Yeah. And daughter of Ares and Otrera, queen and founder of the Amazons. According to legend, Penthesile accidentally killed her sister, and as penance for her action, she joined the Trojan War, leading the Amazons to battle. Leia. Oh, Penthesileia. Okay. I could have just listened to how they pronounce their personas' names and they summon them. That might not be how they're said in Greek, though. The name could have been stolen, but maybe not the pronunciation. Cute emotes with the hearts. But, that's pretty fitting for Mitsuru. I mean, queen of the Amazons, daughter of the god of war, and she is a pretty kick-ass fighter and, pretty good strategist. So it makes sense that she is, like, one of the best people to have in your party in Persona 3, in my humble opinion. Not that I've actually played it, I've just been watching Shadow Chris play it, but still. This also kind of explains why, spoiler alert for Persona 3, as well as Persona 3 The Answer, Mitsuru suddenly decides to side with Yukari and wanting to protect her, because by this point she views Yukari as like a sister. Minor spoiler over. Eventually, Mitsuru's persona can change into Artemisia. Artemisia is based on Artemisia of Caria, an actual ruler. This isn't a mythology thing. Actual person did exist from the ancient west region of Asia Minor. First little Asian lore. Look at that. Took us this long to get into something that's actually just Asia and not Greece or Egypt. Who served as queen after the death of her husband, and continued on his legacy. The Persians were astonished by her battle tactic and praised her to be a valiant ally again. So, that kind of just fits even more with, Mitsuru being a hella smart and BA. So now we're going to move on to Shinjiro. So we're moving on to Shinjiro lore. Spoiler alert for Shinjiro and his social link. If you haven't gotten through his social link yet, Shinjiro has persona Castor, twin brother of Polyjuice and part of the Argonauts, which kind of reflects Shinjiro's childhood friendship with Akihiko, and why there's that strained but caringness, complicated relationship there. Spoiler alert for Shinjiro over. I don't know why I've decided to do this motion every time I go in and out of a spoiler, but that's the thing I'm doing. Moving on to Fuka's persona, Lucia, which is another historical figure versus a mythological being. Lucia, Saint Lucia or Saint Lucy in the Christian age is the Christian patron saint of the blind. She was a devout young woman whose belief in consecrating her virginity for God, she was able to see and prophesize. So that kind of shows Fuka's innocence, as well as her ability to be able to see so deep into Tartarus and analyze enemies' weaknesses. She that kind of fits pretty almost like directly. Eventually, Fuko's persona can become Juno, the queen of the gods. Like, that's a hell of a jump, just from like a patron saint to queen of the gods. Juno is the goddess of marriage, the Roman equivalent of the Greek deity Hera. So we're talking about Roman god this time. The epithet Juno Moneta, where she is said to protect the finances of the empire, means the one who warns. So again, that reflects Fuka's ability to warn the protagonist and party about oncoming strong personas and weaknesses and like the analyzing capability. Rosie, please be a little quieter, baby. Honey, that freaking Dave and Ava showed up again. There's a specific kids show that I let Rose watch on YouTube that's like Little Baby Boomer Cocomelon, but there's one that I don't like her watching because it advertises to her, and somehow even though I have blocked every single one of their channels, they still find a way to show up. Derailed. Back to the topic at hand. Moving on to Ken. We're moving on to Ken. Ken's persona, Nemesis, also called Ramnusha, the goddess of Ramnus, was the ancient Greek goddess of divine retribution who against those who succumb to pride and arrogance. So, again, spoiler alert. This reflects Ken's desire to, kind of avenge his mother's death, and, why he's so deeply saddened when he finds out that it was Shinjiro's persona and not just some random shadow. Yeah, all the spoilers, pretty much. I said at the beginning that this is going to be a very spoilery stream, so if you didn't want spoilers for a specific game, I would be, going through each game in order. Is that Ryuji? That looks like Ryuji. That's awesome. And then, moving on to Medea, which is Medea of Colchis, was the daughter of King Aeetes. When Jason and the Argonauts arrived to retrieve the Golden Fleece, Medea fell in love with him. She betrayed her father to help Jason and thereafter ran away with him. Medea also had the ability, through spells and potions, to restore the youth of a person. This was Chidori's persona. So this kind of reflects, Chidori falling in love with Junpei, even though they were supposed to be enemies, and then eventually, spoiler, sacrificing herself and healing him. So that's, all of those Persona 3 personas have some heavy-ish going on with a lot of them that kind of deeply reflects the characters. So it is Ryuji. So that it's pretty awesome to see, just how much planning they probably did in order to make it so everyone had a persona that actually reflected them and made sense in whatever they were going to be associated with. So Shadow Chris, tell me, what do you think was the most interesting Persona 3 persona? Just the persona, not specifically the character that it belonged to. Which persona was the most interesting to you? Oh yeah, by the way, along with our emotes and being able to throw biddies at me, I have channel points now, so you guys can earn channel points, which are chocolate chips, because I like myself some chocolate chips when I'm baking. We've got Kappa Swappa, which will change out this little guy. There's a few different Kappas that I have. So that means that next time this guy will be switched out for a different one at random. We have Cookie Time, where I display my latest baking creation on stream for y'all to make y'all hungry and potentially so y'all can order some of your own. Not yet. I'm working on it. Once I get all the ingredients situated, then I'll be able to start sending those out for orders. We got Fit Mama, where you can get me to do 15 squats. We've got Voices, where I'll do one of my 3 main voices, being Rogue, Harley Quinn, or Suyu from My Hero over there, from My Hero Academia. Orpheus, nice. So, did you hear my lore talk about Orpheus, or were you still trying to fix the buffer at that point? For 10,000 chocolate chips, you can get me to sing without any kind of music accompaniment because copyright. I'll sing one of the songs that I know. And then for 20,000 chocolate chips, the following stream, I will do so in cosplay of either my male or female elven personas. Because I'm a massive nerd and just have that stuff at the ready. Yeah, Orpheus is pretty cool looking. I definitely like his design. Also, very fitting of your D&D character that you like Orpheus so much because the lyre. Did you pick the lyre because of Orpheus? Is that why you wanted that to be your main bard instrument? I'm asking you a million questions. I apologize. I'm going like a mile a minute right now. I'm ecstatic. This is my first affiliate stream, so I'm like way hyped. It's so nice not to have to worry about like, oh god, my average viewers are gonna drop. Like, like I feel like I could just like be more natural and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into Persona 4. We're gonna talk Persona 4 lore now. We are done with Persona 3, so no more spoilers for Persona 3. We're going to Persona 4. Persona 4's lore was not nearly as in-depth as Persona 3, and I had to kind of stretch a bit for a couple of the personas to really make sense for the characters that they were with. Which might be another reason why people like didn't like 4 as much as they like 3 or like 5. It's definitely more interesting for newer players than 1 or 2 would be, but not like on that same level that 3 and 5 are. Like 3 is probably like up here, 5's like right there, and then 4 is probably like down here for most people. Now, obviously, that's not everybody, but from most people's opinions that I've heard of the Persona series, that's kind of how it goes, and nobody really pays any mind to 1 and 2. So, fun fact, in Persona 4, the Velvet Room assistants, what about 1 and 2? A lot of people don't really seem to talk about 1 and 2 a whole lot. They had almost completely different gameplay than 3 through 4. Like, the traveling through everywhere was a lot different. Like, the styling was a lot different. They never happened. But Velvet Room Assistant in Persona 4 is named Margaret, who is actually canonically the sister of Elizabeth from Persona 3. So, there's been theories that, oh, there's the same person, but that's debunked right there because Persona 4 Velvet Room is sister of Persona 3 Velvet Room, so I don't know how that, what that means for Igor. Are you thinking of using stream avatars? Possibly. I haven't decided 100% on that yet. For now, I've just got my little Capamon set up. I'm pretty sure I would have to pay separately for stream avatars. Like, I wouldn't just be able to use your stream avatars because it's tied to your Twitch. So, possibly down the line, I'll add in the stream avatars, but for now I just got this little guy that you can interact with. You can give him nom noms. You can type exclamation point. Let's see. Let me test it and see if it works. I haven't actually messed around with it. You can do exclamation point nom noms, I think. I don't remember what it was. I should pull that up. Capamon. Num num. Did it work? Let's see. It didn't work. Okay. Let me. Oh wait, no, it's not num num. It's feed Mel because the little critter's name is Mel. So, exclamation point feed Mel, and he gets little num nums. He gets little chocolate hearts. Isn't that adorable? So at any point, you guys can do exclamation point feed Mel to give him little num num snacks. Isn't that cute? You can also, if you guys want, whenever I'm playing a game where I can die, you can do exclamation point death. You have to do an exclamation point in front of it, Ginny. You can do exclamation point death, and he'll tell me to get good and attack me. And then you can also make him dance by doing exclamation point song. So you can make him dance, you can make him attack me, or you can feed him. So, attack your hand. Yep, owie, my hand. Yay, all the snacks. I don't know if he'll do the song when he's already doing an action. Go ahead and try the song thing again. I think since he was already like mid-action, it didn't register. But, yeah, so for now, you can enjoy Mel and his little antics. Is it not doing it? I wonder why that one isn't working. Huh. I'll have to mess around with that and see why that specific one isn't working. I'll mess around with that off stream. But at the very least, for now, you can make him attack me or you can feed him. But yeah, you could give Mel all the noms, and he appreciates them. Or you could have him tell me to get good. But in Persona 4, so I mentioned earlier how a lot of the personas, like the shadows are in Persona 4 and 5, the shadows are in another world. In Persona 4, that world is the TV world. So Persona users can travel through a TV to get into this world and be able to fight the shadows and use their personas, etc. The main protagonist in Persona 4 is named Yu. Totally not confusing at all. At all. But Yu's persona is Izanagi, who is named after a Japanese creation deity, who attempts to rescue his sister/wife. Yeah, you heard that right, sister/wife, Izanami. Totally similar names, not confusing at all. Dance? You trying to get him to dance? No, I have the command up, and it is exclamation point song. I'm not sure why it's not working, though. I'll have to look into that a little later. But, yeah, so he tries to save his sister/wife, Izanami, from the underworld, only to receive her scorn, which kind of reflects you trying to save all the people within the Midnight Channel, only to usually have to fight shadow versions of said people that he's trying to save. When he levels up Izanagi to Izanagi and Okami, Okami means great deity, so it literally just is him powered up. You know, going Super Saiyan, whatever you want to call it. It just means that he's gone from deity to great deity. You're still a deity, so I don't know how much of a difference that is, or if that really even means anything. And then you get Chie next, and Chie's persona, Suzuku Gongen, is a warrior woman who married the king of Oni, king of demons, Akuro O, but later falls in love with Sakanoe no Tamuramaro. So we have a lot more Japanese lore this time. The hero sent to exterminate them. So Suzuka betrays the Oni by killing Akuro's retainer and letting Tamuramaro enter the Oni's castle. So, that I'm not entirely sure how that's supposed to reflect Chie, honestly. I couldn't even stretch that one to figure that out. But when she levels up into Haredo no Okami, this refers to a group of Shinto goddesses of purification, which kind of reflects Chie's desire to cleanse corrupt police officers from the force and protect those she cares for. That part I get, but Suzuka Gongen I don't quite get as much. Something I didn't understand about the fan base, apparently they love Chie. I always thought she was annoying. Like, maybe Chie, he's supposed to be the main love interest, and there's just something about her that you and I don't get, Shadow Chris, and, like, that's supposed to be her connection to Suzuka Gongen. Is she supposed to be, like, this hero that you love or whatever, or in love with the hero? But I don't get it. I don't see anything that kind of shows that, but that's the lore behind Suzuka Gongen, her first persona before it levels up at all. And then eventually you get Yukiko. Yukiko's persona, Amaterasu, which the name might sound familiar, is the Japanese sun goddess who rules over the high plane of heaven. So in the Okami games, there's Amaterasu. That's this deity. Her name literally means she who illuminates the heavens. She was born from Izanagi's left eye, suggesting a connection to the protagonist. So you're going to see a lot of them are, like, born from Izanagi, like a certain part of Izanagi, or tied into Izanagi some way. So all of them have some kind of connection to you, except Chie. Chie has no connection to Izanagi whatsoever, like, doesn't make any sense. Eventually, Amaterasu evolves into Sumeo Okami, which is just an epithet of Amaterasu. Did you know that Yukiko was a voice of Oya? I did not know that. Fun fact. Look at that. You're spitting some info back at me. I love it. And then you eventually get Yosuke. I want to call him Yusuke. I'm doing the opposite of what you do, Chris. Yosuke. It's going to get even more confusing in a second. Just wait. Yosuke's persona, Susanoo, is the powerful storm of summer, and is the brother. They look very similar. Yukiko is hotter, obviously. So, do people say that Oya is just Yukiko grown up or something? But Yosuke's persona, Susanoo, is the powerful storm of summer, is the brother of Amaterasu, suggesting a big connection between him and Yukiko, like a sibling-like connection between Yosuke and Yukiko. And of Tsukuyomi. Yeah, but with Chie hair. And the god of the moon. All three were spawned from Izanagi when he washed his flames clean of pollutants of Yomi, the underworld. So that ties him to both you and to Yukiko at the same time, suggesting a sibling relationship between Yosuke and Yukiko. And, like, a desire to follow you, because, Izanagi being the parental unit. And then you get Teddy to join you. And Teddy's persona, Kamui, just literally means bear in Ainu. You see my issue now. Yeah, but for me, I started with Yusuke, so now I keep wanting to call Yosuke Yusuke. I'm also saying Yukiko along with Yosuke. So, like, Yukiko plus Yosuke equals Yusuke. It's confusing. They did too many Y names. You got Yukiko, you got Yosuke, you got Yusuke. Like, Persona, chill with the Y names already. Moving on. But bears are considered powerful divine spirits in the Ainu regions. His evolved persona, Kamui Moser, is the mythical abode of Kamui, the spirits or gods worshipped by the Ainu people. The term is the opposite of Ainu Mosir, meaning the human world, or specifically the abode of Ainu. So it literally means another world, or like the protector of another world, which makes a lot of sense considering, Teddy's from the TV world. And then you eventually get Kanji. Kanji's persona, Dairoku Tenmao, within the Gohanzan, is a revered mandala in Japanese Buddhism. Also known as the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven, symbolizes a lust for power and the desires to attain worldly goals. It is ultimately derived from the evil being Mara. Yes, that Mara that persona is named after. That's a thing. Kanji has a tie to that. Baby Kanji! Yeah, his persona is the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven. I love that emote. Traumatized Teddy. But is the adaptation of Mara into Japanese Buddhism, reflecting his anger and hatred towards the ideas of masculine and feminine and what is and isn't okay for him to be and do. So all that anger and all that angst is very much reflected in Dairoku Tenmao. His evolved persona, Takechi Zaiten, its name literally means having pleasure from watching over other living things change. That's a mouthful. So that kind of shows his joy as you finish out his social links and get that persona evolved. Shows his joy at being accepted and seeing change in the world around him, and that, like, you accept him regardless of how feminine or masculine he really is. So yay, acceptance. And then you eventually get Rise, who's, I didn't realize until recently, whose poster you see in Joker's room. It's a poster you can get in Joker's room. I'm like, oh, that's Rise. That's actually a character from another game. It's not just some random thing that they have there. Rise's persona, Kanzeon, is the Japanese name given to the Chinese goddess of mercy and compassion, Guan Yin. So, that's kind of just pretty self-explanatory. She's very merciful, very compassionate. Rise is kind of complicated, but she really is a compassionate person at heart. And her persona eventually evolves into Kozian, from Kanzeon to Kozian. And while Kanzeon means observer of mundane voices, Kozian means light of mundane voices. Rise of my P4 waifu. Rise, my piece. Oh, God. It works either way, but Rise, my piece. Persona 4 waifu. Rise, so it goes from Kanzeon, meaning observer of mundane voices, to Kozeon, meaning light of mundane voices. So she goes from just kind of, observing people, not really being able to interact as herself because they just see her as this idol, to being like a light for them, being like a protector of them, a guider of them as she gets her persona and is able to protect all these people, and it like gets to know you on a deeper level. She becomes a deeper person that has more meaning than just seeing other people around. Then you get over to Naoto, so many people's favorite from what I've seen, just from the sheer number of cosplays alone I've seen of Naoto. Like, clearly Naoto is a favorite. Um, Naoto's persona, Yamato Takeru, aka the Brave of Yamato, is the title given to the legendary prince named Osu. That could be your waifu. Probably would be if I ever actually played Persona 4. I can guarantee, from what I have learned of Naoto and what I saw in the anime and everything, like 100% Naoto would be my waifu. But is the title given to a legendary prince named Osu who defeated his enemies valiantly in his father's name, kind of reflecting her hard work and skill as a detective, defeating culprits by unveiling their guilt, as well as like her gentlemanly nature. And eventually her persona evolves into Yamato Sumerag. So from Yamato Takeru to Yamato Sumerag, aka Yamato Sumero Mikoto, which are epithets for the emperors of Japan, known simply as Tenno in Japanese. So, like, from a prince to an emperor, that's a pretty big upgrade, I would like to think. So, just further emphasizing that, she's there to protect. She could be, like, she's good at leading, like, the party to the direction that they need to, even though Yu is technically the leader. She's just, like, a tough character without having to be that stereotypical, like, knight or whatever. And then you come across Toru, and Toru's persona, Magatsu Izanagi. Yes, Izanagi means calamity, Izanagi. So, Calamity Ganon of Zelda Breath of the Wild kind of was stolen from Persona 4 a little bit. Okay, but I forgot to ask, who is your Persona 3 waifu? I guess, obviously. But yeah, no, from what I have seen of the Persona series, Aigis would definitely be my waifu. Up until you meet Aigis, I would probably say Mitsuru would be, but then once you meet Aigis, like, it's Aigis all the way. But yeah, Calamity Izanagi, and this refers to Izanagi's state before he washed away the filth. So remember how, like, some of the personas were, or some of the deities were born from when Izanagi, like, cleaned the filth of the underworld off of his face. Before he does that, he's referred to as Calamity Izanagi. Why he has a completely different name just because he has the dirt of the underworld on him, I have no idea. But this refers to the state before he washed away the filth from Yomotsu Hirasaka in a failed mission to retrieve his dead consort Izanami. Ow. That was not elbow, knee, the desk. This reflects, while he may be labeled as a protector similar to the protagonist, his motivations, that I guess Burrito. What is with you and butts? You're all about butts. God. Like, just in your last Persona episode, you were talking about freaking Mitsuru's butt. Now you're talking about Aigis' butt. Like, you're all about butts. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. You want to get a freaking booty emote. But as you go... But... as you go into learn about Toru more, you discover that Toru was being manipulated by something called Ame no Sagiri, named after the Japanese spirit of fog. So that kind of makes sense, why the fog was all over the TV world and kind of starting to try and spread into the real world. They, along with Kuni no Sagiri, are children of Ohoyamatsumi and Kaya no Hime. So they're basically grandchildren of Izanagi and Izanami, reflecting kind of their obedience to Izanami. That explains why they obey Izanami's whim. And those of you that haven't played Persona 4, Izanami is the big bad guy that you fight at the end. Jam out, jam out. Okay. Little dance break so my voice can get a break. The cough pauses the stream, oh goodness. So now we're gonna move on for Persona 5! I don't know why I felt the need to do fanfare, but Persona 5, the one I am most familiar with, and the one that probably most people nowadays are familiar with, the one that's blowing up because of Persona 5 Royal. So obviously first we have to start with Joker's persona. Arsène, which is based off of Arsène Lupin, a fictional gentleman thief created by Maurice LeBlanc. LeBlanc. You English voice actors, it's not LeBlanc. It's not LeBlanc. LeBlanc. Which is the name of the cafe in Persona 5 that none of the English voice actors pronounce correctly. And it drove me crazy. Like, they pronounce it correctly in the Japanese voice acting. They just don't for the English voice acting. But, yes, Arsène Lupin was created by Maurice LeBlanc, and was known for targeting criminals or those who were much worse than himself, making him an anti-hero. Very, very fitting of Joker, leader of the Phantom Thieves. And then we have Morgana's persona, Zoro, who is a mass outlaw of the defense commoners and the indigenous people of the land against tyrannical officials and other villains, reflecting his desire to defend the public against the shadows and steal treasure. Because let's face it, Zoro was a little greedy. Those of us that have seen any Zoro movie, comic book, yada yada. His persona eventually evolves into Mercurius, the Roman god of commerce, speed, and merchants, kind of connecting him even more with, that wanting to steal the treasure. Did my music stop? Why did my music stop? Let's get some more music going. Why you no type? Oh, we have a wild Shadow Chris appearing home. Welcome home. Oh, Taco Bell! Yay! I have burrito. That's a very warm burrito. That is fresh. Huzzah!
Hey,
Shadow Chris.
Hey, baby. How you doing?
No, Rose got so excited to see you home. So cute. Okay, we've got music going in the background again. Morgana's persona can eventually evolve again, in Royal into Diego, which is Zoro's true name. So it kind of returns from Zoro to Mercurius back to Zoro, but Zoro's true self. When you max out. Well, let's fast forward a little bit through that. Let's go to something that doesn't have lyrics. That was distracting me. And all that cursing and whatnot. I'm just like, let's not. Then we get Ryuji's persona, Captain Kidd, who I'm sure many of, at least my generation, has heard of Captain Kidd. A.k.a. William Kidd, a Scottish pirate and privateer in the 17th century. Like an actual historical person, not a fictional thing this time. His early career was spent in the Caribbean, where he aided the besieged English colony of Nevis by ransacking the attacking French. But he was still eventually relabeled as an outlaw, however. Kind of tying to Ryuji repeatedly trying to do the right thing, like trying to help the track team, trying to take down, I totally forgot his name. Not Kaneshiro. What the hell was his name?
Whose name?
Freaking evil a-hole coach. Kamoshida?
Kamoshida, yeah.
Kamoshida! Reflects him trying to take down Kamoshida and then being labeled the bad guy, even though Kamoshida was clearly the bad guy. I hate Kamoshida. He's the worst one out of all of them, if you ask me. Persona 5, all the guys that they fight, Kamoshida. biggest a-hole. But that is neither here nor there. That is not lore, that is just opinion. And it also kind of explains Ryuji being labeled as a delinquent. His persona eventually evolves into Saiten Taisei, otherwise known as Son Goku. That's right, Son Goku. We're going Dragon Ball, y'all. Who is a monkey-like god known for causing havoc for the sake of vengeance. Agreed, he's the worst. Thank you, Ginny. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that he is just the worst, as you put it. Very well said. But yeah, we're going Dragon Ball. His persona turns into Saiten Taisei, aka Son Goku. Which kind of reflects his reckless nature and need to make those who harmed others be harmed. You know, that eye for an eye mentality was very much the monkey god Son Goku's kind of mentality. I bet you didn't know that that's where the name Son Goku came from, Shadow Chris. I know you're a big Dragon Ball fan as well as Persona. Did you know that? Did you know that? Huh? Have you heard of Journey to the West? Question mark? Is that a Persona thing? Dragon Ball thing? Separate thing? I've heard of Journey to the Center of the Earth. Google Fu time. Journey to the West. It's a movie. It's a novel. Chinese novel. That was made into a movie? Chinese novel. I'm not getting a whole lot of info with this Google Fu. You did know that already? Did you know that Ryuji's persona, his second persona, was Son Goku? It follows Son Goku. Oh, that's cool. But did you know that Saiten Taisei was another name for him? I want to throw something out there that you don't know. I was excited for that one. I wanted to blow your mind. Dang it. You spoil all my fun. No, I didn't know the name thing. Hello from the sunroom. Hi, Semajam. I can't pronounce anything right now. All this trying to pronounce Japanese and Greek names is like messing me up. Hello. But Ryuji's persona can evolve again, evolving into a persona. Yeah, no, it's for our friend Desan over here. Into William, which is the first name of Captain Kidd. So they're kind of following this pattern of... It's James backwards. Oh! I didn't even notice that! Nice. Hi, James. But they're kind of following this pattern of they're this specific, usually thieving character that evolves into this deity that then goes into the true version of the original, kind of like back and forth bit. The third evolve for any of these is only in Persona 5 Royal. Then moving on to Ann's persona, Carmen. Carmen is generally depicted as a classic femme fatale who would take advantage of her beauty and charm to make men fall for her, but quickly breaks the relationship when she is bored of her wooer, then looks for her next victim. Literally how it's phrased, victim. Carmen is also usually seen smoking tobacco because she had once worked in a tobacco factory. This is all from an opera, a fictional opera that was created. She is later slain by a spurned ex-lover driven to jealous rage after she leaves him. Though she knew he would be fated to kill her, she declared that she would rather die than allow herself to be bound to the will of another, and that Carmen will always be free. So this kind of shows Ann's desire to, once she gets that motivation and gets her persona, her desire to fight for what she believes in, consequences be damned. And kind of reflects her being the lover's arcana. but her persona will eventually evolve into Hecate, who has been associated with childbirth, nurturing the young, gates and walls, doorways, crossroads, magic, lunar lore, torches, and dogs. Odd combination, but the main things there being the childbirth and the nurturing the young, kind of further trying to suggest that she is the canon love interest, the primary love interest for the protagonist. And then in Royal, her persona evolves again into Celestine, the name of the most famous actress who played Carmen in said opera. So again, tying that, character, deity, character, true form, pattern. That's the word, pattern. Then we get Yusuke! I can finally say Yusuke and stop saying Yosuke for a minute anyways. Yusuke's persona, Goemon, is based on the historical figure of the same name, whose story was expanded to make him a hero similar to Robin Hood, robbing the rich and giving his spoils to the poor. Kind of fitting in with that Phantom Thief vibe, that anti-hero vibe. Stories from the 19th and 20th century also make him out to be a skilled ninja. Goemon and his infamous death eventually became the subject of various Banraku and Kabuki players, connecting him to theory as well as to the arts. So that kind of also ties in the Kabuki mask that Yusuke gets for his persona. I know it's a fox, but it's the Kabuki style. His persona eventually evolves into Susanoo, the same persona Yosuke had in Persona 4. Fox! Further confusing the Yusuke issue, they end up with the same persona. Like, no other two characters in the Persona series have the exact same persona. Not any of the protagonists, not any of the other ones, but just Yusuke and Yosuke. As if there wasn't enough confusion. They both get Susanoo. But eventually, in Persona 5 Royal, he can evolve again into Gorokichi, which is the birth name of Goemon. Then you get Makoto, my Persona 5 waifu. Makoto's persona, Johanna, is based off of Pope Joan, a legendary medieval woman who reigned as pope for a short period, going against Catholic Church's ingrained tradition of male popes, kind of reflecting her role as an important person in the school, despite the best efforts of some of the staff, like the principal and Kamoshida, and some of the students who just wish to use her, demean her, like just associate her with negativity. Her persona will eventually evolve into Anat, a Syrian goddess. That kind of came out of nowhere. That surprised me a bit. I was like, what? Of all the places, Syrian goddess who is associated with love and sex. That one really surprised me. But I figure it's kind of trying to suggest that she matures and grows into a proper woman mentally. Like, it's kind of reflecting her mental state, not actual, like, that. You know? And in Royal, her persona can evolve again into Agnes, which is another name given to Pope Joan. Eventually, you come across Futaba, my second favorite character, possibly my favorite character, just not a waifu, of Persona 5. Her persona is Necronomicon, which is named after a fictional tome dealing with the truth behind the various ancient cosmic beings that have inhabited Earth and continue to influence humans for their own ends. What you looking for? I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Necronomicon in different contexts, but that was the original context for it. It was written in the 8th century by the mad Arab Abdul al-Azred. It both functions as a means of imparting the forbidden knowledge of the Ancient Ones and a source of danger, as those who read it risk going mad from its knowledge. This kind of reflects her ability to figure out shadow weaknesses and the depths of being able to randomly get those maps of mementos. It also kind of reflects her going mad, trying to, like, deny the truth of what happened to her mom and everything. Her persona can evolve into Prometheus, who was one of the Titans to side with Zeus and his siblings in the Great War against the Titans. the original occupiers of Mount Olympus, reflecting that she once had a shadow herself, which she instead decided to side with the persona users, going against the shadows and kind of changing her shadow into her persona instead. And then in Royal, her persona can evolve again into Al-Azif, which is the Necronomicon's Arabic name. Other times I heard of Necronomicon, I had no idea it had Arabic origins. And then you get Haru. My personal opinion, Haru, least interesting of the waifu options. She's just too floofy, if that makes sense. But her persona, Milady, who's Madoka of Milady, is a title inherited from one of her husbands whom she married under a false name, her true identity being a mystery. Which kind of is a little interesting, because at first they have no idea who Haru is, even though no one else in the whole school has that floof going on. It is likely that that's really her only tie to the fictional character Milady de Winter, because Milady de Winter is depicted as a vicious and manipulative villain, complete opposite of Haru. So this, like Chie's, was kind of a bit of a stretch to figure out the connection. I think they did it just for that unknown identity thing at the beginning. Detective Pancakes, hi! Mel says hi. But eventually her persona can evolve into Astarte, a goddess worshipped under many names throughout the Mediterranean. So we have a Mediterranean goddess this time. Temporarily. Thank you for popping in, Detective Pancakes. Shadow Chris, thank you for the sub! You launched an emote fireworks in the channel. Oh, thank you for the sub. Oh, I have a second sub. You're too sweet.
I don't know if the emotes work.
What are we talking about? We are talking about Persona lore. We have worked our way through Persona 3 and 4, and now we're talking about Persona 5 lore, like the origins and inspirations behind the different personas, their ties and what they mean, like in reference to the characters and everything. And right now I was just, look it, you got the emote, you got the Pride D20. Thank you. I have 2 subs now. Guys, it's only my first affiliate stream. Stop. Haru. We're talking about Haru. Okay, got sidetracked, got derailed. Suyu. Oh, did I do the Suyu voice? Persona lore. My expertise will finally be useful. Awesome. And eventually Haru's persona evolves into Astarte, which is the goddess worshipped under many names throughout the Mediterranean. She's a goddess associated with fertility, love, and war, along with being the deification of Venus. In Greece, she is known as Aphrodite and worshipped as a goddess of love. So her persona evolves into Aphrodite, basically. Astarte, which is another name for Aphrodite. So again, I don't see a whole lot of ties there other than femininity. Like, that's the best I could gather there. Whoa. Is this some kind of RNG? It is specifically a D20 that is always on 20 because we are always having good luck here. We are always like, oh, hi, Jaime. Hi. All the luck, all the positivity, all the nat 20s. Yeah, Haru's personas, even her evolved persona, doesn't make a whole lot of sense for her character. Maybe it's supposed to reflect, her being betrothed to the a-hole or something. Her being the daughter of someone important. I couldn't find a way to stretch it enough to really connect her persona and her persona's lore with her character. Isn't her whole thing about how she doesn't want to be a puppet for her father, so she becomes the musketeer? It is. So there's absolutely zero thus explaining her costume. Exactly. Thus having nothing to do with her persona's named Milady, her persona evolving into the Roman equivalent of Aphrodite. Like, her persona makes no sense with her character. Her costume makes sense. Her costume I get. Her motives I get. Her persona I don't get. And eventually in Royal, her persona could evolve into Lucy. Her character and whose character and duplicitous actions are popularly considered the inspiration for the character of Milady de Winter. And Lucy was shown to help both sides in a way. And like the best stretch I could get for that to fit was Milady isn't that one of the female antagonists? Yeah, she was considered vicious and manipulative, and I'm like, that is the complete opposite of Haru. Like, sure, it fits in with the Three Musketeer world, but it's the complete opposite. I was shook when doing the research for Haru's persona, because, like, Haru, just like Chie, makes absolutely no sense for their personas. Yeah, when I think of Haru, I think of vicious. Exactly. Little fluff ball with floofy hair and floofy pants and floofy personality that loves flowers. So vicious and manipulative. Makes no sense. I mean, maybe in fanfic, but not in canon. Exactly. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like, what? What? She's secretly evil, so good she fooled us all. Moving on past Haru, because I will just keep going on and on about how it makes no sense. Now, Chie makes no sense. But after Haru, you get to Akechi. Well, lots of people do see her as a dom. Really? I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to know. I don't want to know people's fanfics about her. I don't... That's a deep, dark tunnel that I do not want to go down. Yum. Oh, God, Chris, no. That's not a joke. I don't want to know. I don't want to ask. I don't want to know. I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to know people's fanfics. I don't want to think about Haru as a dom. Now I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to, so we're going to move on. Akechi. You get to Akechi, and his persona is Robin Hood. Atwild would want her to squish. This is truth. This is truth. I can't even be mad because it's true. Why were you mentioning Chie so much? But because in Persona 4, Chie's persona also does not make any sense for Chie's character and personality. He isn't alone. Y'all are taking over my stream with Dom talk.
I scared the crap out of Rosie.
I don't want to know. Also, apparently, Chris scared our 2-year-old, but she loves it. She loves it.
She was trying to get my toothbrush and she was like being all slow and quiet. And
She was trying to sneak. Our 2-year-old thinks she's so sneaky, but then we'll sneak up on her while she's trying to be sneaky and startle her, and it's hilarious, because then she, like, runs away like she wasn't doing anything. She's got a fun personality. Akechi's persona is Robin Hood, the heroic outlaw in English folklore, who... Are you gonna bring Rosie? Hi, Rosie! Did you get spooked? Did you get spooked when you were causing mischief? Someone gets mad at Joker saying, "Eat blip." Joker responds, "Joke's on you, I already drank it." Why? Akechi's persona Robin Hood, a hero outlaw in English folklore who, according to legend, was a highly skilled archer and swordsman. He was traditionally depicted as dressed in Lincoln green. He is often portrayed as robbing from the rich and giving to the poor alongside his band of merry men. So that kind of fits his motif at first of working with the Phantom Thieves when Haru and Joker went for the crap coffee. Ah, okay. I didn't pursue Haru's social link. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really have a lot of interest in it. So the but then this persona was most likely picked by Akechi because, you know, Akechi, spoiler alert, has the same ability as Joker. He most likely picked this persona to further suggest to the Phantom Thieves in kind of like a subconscious way that he was the good guy. How dare you, Haru is best girl to me. I bet you love Fuka too. I should have figured that this was just going to turn into a waifu battle stream. Are we going to have a waifu battle, or are y'all going to, like, just battle it out with whose waifu is best? Wait, at Shadow Chris, me. What? Yes. Yeah, Shadow Chris was asking if Fuka was your favorite in 3. Never played 3. Fuka is a lot like Haru in that she's the innocent, floofy one. Like, she doesn't have the floof, literal floof that Haru does, but she's definitely the innocent, fluffy one. Out of all of the companions, she would be the most like Haru in Persona 3. I know the story, but I would assume yes. But Toad's the secret dom. God! What is with y'all and doms this chat? Like, my word. I don't know how to handle this. Why are you saying this? Like, Mikoto's the one with the skin-tight armor with the spikes. An's the one with the freaking whip. And y'all are saying Haru is the dom. Like, what? Who is the Persona 4 Haru? Yukiko. I don't know Persona 4 well enough to be able to answer that, but I would just agree with whatever. An dresses as a literal dom. Those others are just posers. I assume Yukiko. Yes, Yukiko. Yeah, An dresses as a literal dom in that red spandex and whip, and god dang it, you guys derailed me again. Akechi. We're talking about Akechi. We're not talking about the waifus who you guys want to dominate you. Akechi's eventual persona is eventually revealed to be Loki, the trickster god. Fitting, because, you know, he tricked the Phantom Thieves and all that. He starts out as, at least on the side of the Acer, but crosses the line when he engineers Baldur's death, kind of almost directly reflecting his working with the Phantom Thieves only to try and arrange Joker's death. Back on topic, based on what Futaba says, he only got 3 personas based on his lies and his hate. Yeah, basically, what he could have had Joker's power, but because of all that darkness in him, 2, not 3, yeah. Based on all of his, you know, hate and that darkness in his heart, he wasn't able to unleash his full potential, but he would have had Joker's power. Is basically what Futaba talks about in all that. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that only in Royal where you get to learn all that about Akechi? But in Royal, it's possible for Robin Hood to evolve before, you know, he turns on everyone, and to Hereward. Hereward, the Wake, was an Anglo-Saxon nobleman and the leader of the resistance and the most likely inspiration for the fictional character Robin Hood. So again, it goes from, you know, the original to a deity back to the true version of the original. They followed a very, very strict pattern with every single one of the personas in Persona 5. I had a big debate with someone on a Persona 5 Amino about who is stronger between Joker or Crow. What did you guys end up coming to the conclusion of? I'm very curious.
Sorry.
You're good. I know you gotta work. You're good. Let me pull up. gotta pull up Kasumi's persona. Let's see. Da 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 da. Let's see. Okay, so Kasumi's persona is Cendrillon, also known as, which is a French adaptation of the classic folktale Cinderella, which was one of many authors to adapt the story, which began as a Greek folktale. The tale of Cinderella follows a kind, beautiful young woman who is forced to be a maid for her wicked stepmother, kind of like how Kasumi is, forced into not forced, but she does the gymnastics thing and then feels forced to be. Spoiler, huge spoiler for Kasumi, huge spoiler for Kasumi, huge spoiler for Kasumi.
Give it 10 seconds.
So if you don't want Kasumi spoilers for Kasumi's social link and the story of Persona 5 Royal, highly suggest dipping out. Huge spoilers. Okay, so can we mention Kasumi? At this point, yes, we could talk about Kasumi, because we are going full on into spoilers for her.
Put it in your title for your thing.
I have to pull up the mobile dashboard for that. Now that we're at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put spoilers into the title. Spoilers. What? Why did that go all the way over there? Over here. Why does it... My phone is being stupid, so I have to keep going back one letter at a time, which is frustrating as I'll get out. But we are going to fix the title so people can't get shook. Okay. There. Now it officially has spoilers in the title. So, we good. So, Kasumi, the whole being persona, I heard people argue over who is stronger, Akechi or Adachi. It's clearly Akechi. I don't remember who Adachi is. You're gonna have to refresh my memory on that one. But, Cendrillon of being, forced to be a maid is very similar. Persona 4 villain. Oh. Yeah, Akechi, for sure. But yeah, Cendrillon being forced into being a maid very much reflects, Kasumi kind of being forced to take, or really Sumire being forced to take on the role that her sister had in gymnastics and becoming her sister, Kasumi, when the real Kasumi died. And then, her fairy godmother appears and grants her wish, which kind of almost reflects the counselor in a way, kind of the counselor being her Sumire's fairy godmother and granting her that wish and kind of adjusting her memory to make her think she's Kasumi. And then speaking of the counselor, let's go ahead and pull him up next. Dr. Maruki. So, hi, Amused! I love when my face godmother is a man in a lab coat. Fairy godmother is a man in a lab coat. Yep. Hi, Amused. We're talking about Persona 5, specifically Dr. Maruki being Sumire's fairy godmother, pretty much. So, now we're going into huge spoilers for Dr. Maruki, his social link, and the ending of Persona 5 Royal. I already put spoilers in the title. I already warned you about that we were going into Persona 5 Royal spoilers. So, if you didn't hear the stuff about Sumire, this is your last chance to dive out before you get spoilers for Persona 5 Royal, because we're talking Dr. Maruki. So, Dr. Maruki is the therapist that comes. Honestly, if it wasn't for Akechi, I would have agreed to Maruki's terms. What do you mean if it wasn't for Akechi? I would think that Akechi would be the main reason why you would want to agree to Maruki's terms. But I would feel like such a dick to Akechi. How it... Huh. I honestly have no idea about anything Persona related, never played it, and usually only catch a little when people stream it. His will is so strong that I would hate to do it to him. Fair. No, I think he means if Akechi didn't come back. That's fair. Yeah, like, if you did take the terms, like, Akechi would probably eventually, like, wake up anyways, and then be like, what the because of his, like, Akechi, just his mad willpower. So, yeah, he was like, just kill me already. This is fake news. I mean that. I love how he rather die than be under someone else's control again. I can respect that. I can respect that. That's very Carmen, like, in a way. On's persona, her choice to die at the hands of an ex-lover rather than be ruled, be forced to live underneath him. I can respect that very much. But Maruki is the therapist that shows up in Royal, and you guys are, like, forced to talk to and everything. Eventually you discover that he himself is a Persona user, and a very strong one at that, like Akechi or like Joker, in that he can alter reality with his persona. This messes with my mind, though. Were those people actually real? There's a lot to debate there. Or just perfect versions of the real ones. Maybe, maybe not. Like, sadly, I can't stay too long. Gotta run and do some errands, but wanted to pop in to say hi. Congratulations on the first Philly stream! I will leave tab lurk open for you, though. Thank you, Virus. Thank you for stopping in. Much appreciated. Thank you again for helping get that push to get to affiliate. Like, much love. Much love. Amused Virus, very entertaining fellow. If you're not following them, go give them a follow. They stream pretty regularly. If I'm not streaming and Chris isn't streaming, you'll probably be able to find me in their chat.
Oh my god, another sub! Thank you! Thank you for the sub. That's 3 subs on my first affiliate stream, guys. I don't know how to handle this. Ooh, I'm turning into freaking Crota from Soul Eater. I don't know how to handle this.
Hey, if it wasn't for Akechi, the world wouldn't have started to end, like, low-key in Ragnarok. This is truth. They turn into Suyu when they get a sub. Suyu or Corona from Soul Eater. Like, I don't know why my voice does the thing. It just does. Oh, look at the cute little emotes.
Thank you, Amused.
I don't have many subs. Sorry, I feel bad. Don't worry about it, Pancakes. There is zero expectation for anyone to sub. I just, we're just here to have fun, enjoy games, enjoy the lore of games. I wasn't even expecting to get a affiliate so fast, so don't worry about it. I don't, you don't need to throw biddies, you don't need to throw subs, like you don't need to feel bad if you can't do that. These are hard times we're in. I expect nothing from anyone, and even if we weren't in hard times, I wouldn't expect anything from anyone. Like, I'm rambling. I keep getting derailed because you guys are amazing, but, like, Maruki, Dr. Maruki, let's get to the fairy godmother in the lab coat.
Oh, thank you for the 50 biddies.
Did someone say bits?
Ah, thank you for the 50 biddies, Abused. Oh, you're so sweet.
You are just determined to keep me derailed. Thank you. Thanks, Abused. Okay, fairy godmother in a lab coat. Maruki. Eventually you find out that, his fiance, was his fiance's parents were murdered in a horrible home invasion, and she got seriously injured, leaving her to fall into a catatonic depression. And Maruki would go and see her, and unwittingly invoked her trigger phrase by mentioning her family and driving her into a breakdown. So, in extreme grief, he unconsciously contacted a mysterious entity known as Adam Kadmon, which ends up becoming his persona. I really gotta run though. Have a great rest of your stream and best of luck. Thank you again, Amused. And hi, Chris. Bye, Chris. Am I right when I say that the third tier personas are just the first ones, but more free? Like how they real name was Diego. The Captain Kid is really William Kid. Yeah, I was mentioning that. Like all of the Persona 5 personas follow the very strict pattern of they get their thieving-related persona, then their persona turns into a deity, and then in Royal you can get them to evolve again, which is just the true version of their first persona. But Adam Kadmon speaks to Maruki and makes a deal, allowing him to harness the ability to manipulate cognition, dubbed with the term actualization. He purges Rumi of her traumatic memories, but also accidentally wipes her memories of him. So that's a hell of a tragedy. Like, she's able to recover from this horrible thing that happened to her and forget that it ever happened, but now she doesn't remember him. That would be a hard choice to make. Like, if you guys had to make that choice, in order to save a loved one from being in a catatonic state, you had to erase all their memories of you. Would you do it? To make them, like, happy and able to go forth and live a normal life, would you make them forget you? This is awesome. Gotta run to work. Congrats on the affiliate. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for stopping in. I'm glad you enjoyed. But, like, do you know the history behind Royal? Did you mean Royal? I love how they did that in Royal. Thanks for stopping by. History behind Raul? I'm confused. But Joker's third tier persona. Raul. Nani?
You didn't get that, did you?
I did not.
I think you have to max out everyone to do it.
Is that a max out everyone and you get the thing?
I'm trying that this turn for my Merciless playthrough.
Let's see. Featured Raoul's first mention in the Queen's Necklace, a short story included by... Oh! Arsène Lupin's true name. So it also fits that archetype. I think it's some kind of DLC, but it is canonically his third tier persona. Which makes sense. It kind of looks like how Lupin is canonically depicted with that, like, that hat and the leisure suit. But Yeah, Raoul being Arsène Lupin's true name that fits with all of the rest of the third tier personas. Those are some cool stats, though. Yeah, Raoul is a third tier persona of the protagonist, only available through DLC. That's lame. If Arsène, it's Arsène if he was awakened by Sojira. That's funny. That's funny. I like that. That's my headcanon now. You love that. Eventually, Maruki opened the clinic, and Sumire came to him, and he became basically the little fairy godmother in a lab coat. When Kasumi lost her twin sister, and made Sumire kind of adjust Sumire's memories into thinking that she was Kasumi. So that way, Sumire forgot her guilt over Kasumi's death. Like how the third tier for Yusuke looks like if Goemon was awakened by Banarame, and thus he got what I call Pimp Goemon. Oh goodness. Pimp Goemon. I love your thoughts on all of the different persona evolutions, Detective. This is quite... Ow! That's like the third time I need the desk. They are quite interesting opinions. Yes, I should stop kneeing the desk. You are correct, Shadow Chris. Ow. I'm small, okay? I have to scoot the chair closer so I can be on the mic and be heard, but that means that my long-ass legs keep hitting the desk. Specifically the bar that holds the desk up. But then Maruki eventually meets the Phantom Thieves, and as the Phantom Thieves, each of them tell him of their plight and of the stress, they inadvertently, strengthen Maruki's, power, to change cognition, his actualization power, and encourage him, to change everyone's cognition and change their whole existence. Makoto Tier 2 is a transformer. That is not a unique opinion, but it is true. It is completely true. I said the same thing when I first saw it. It's a freaking transformer. Yeah, he realizes, as the Phantom Thieves talk to Maruki, he realizes what they actually want, and their collective desires give him the idea to create the false reality. They all subconsciously wish that they could change the old one. When he's changing the reality into people's subconscious wishes, well, mementos is people's subconscious thoughts and wishes and everything come into actuality. So he basically makes mementos bleed into the real world, which causes this huge end of the world, yet again, Persona, end of the world issue. You guys fight each other, and at the end of it, after you beat him, everybody kind of assumes that he's dead or whatever, but then he's shown to be, I think this would be cool if you got the third tier for everyone, then instead of the final hit being Joker shooting and saying, checkmate, we got a showtime with every party member together. That would be really cool.
That's a great idea.
That would be awesome, especially for the last battle. That would be hella awesome. That would be a pain in the ass to animate, I don't doubt, but it would be awesome.
I love Joker's and Akechi's showtime.
You love Joker and Akechi's showtime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. My favorite would probably have to be Yusuke and Ryuji's. Just the eating the ramen, and then you gonna interrupt my ramen? It's just so humorous to me. I enjoy it very much. I also wish we got one for Akechi and Sumire together. That would be cool. Haru and Makoto's was your favorite, the little wrestling one.
Yeah, the wrestling one.
Owie, owie, owie. But yeah, so Persona 5 Royal, you end up fighting Maruki and his shadow and everything. But it's not like that one was a hard one because it's not like Maruki was really a bad guy, because he really just wanted to help everyone. He wasn't trying to cause the end of the friggin' world. He just wanted to help everyone. He wanted everyone to be happy. He didn't realize that changing reality in such a way was going to make it so, like, it couldn't exist. It couldn't happen because everyone's happiness, like, there are some terrible people in the world whose happiness relies on other people's pain. But then, you know, those people that are in pain, did you do all the fake endings? I did not go over each of the fake endings. Is there a specific one you wanted to talk about? Isn't it weird that during the Haru and Morgana one, she says in a realty joyful voice, "You've been bad"? Are you getting back on the Dom subject? I don't know how to feel about that. Did you do all the routes where you agree with Maruki? I did not go over the route where you agree with Maruki. Detective, did you do that route? Did you do it just to see that end?
Map! All the waifus!
We summoned a Mep with more Dom talk. Both times it's the same one. Hey! And yes, I did. Yeah, so that's an interesting one. You just kind of go about, you forget all of the issues, and you go about your regular life as a regular student, but then, you know, end of the freaking world. Mep could sneak in here since no Streamlabs. This is true. But Mep didn't sneak. Mep decided to announce. Yeah, I've been here for like 10 minutes. Well, I take that back. Stream avatars. Futaba goes to Shujin now. Yeah. Yeah, they all get to live as like normal students go about normal lives for all of a week before the end of the world. Lol, I was writing emails. Fun. You're always busy, Mep. Like, all the crap that you're usually doing whenever we're streaming, like, you are like fully adulting already. You're still a teeny bopper, but you're full adulting already. You kind of liked it. It's one of those ignorance is bliss kind of things. Like, does choosing to be ignorant and happy, like, is that a bad thing? Like, there's so many philosophical debates that you could get into with Persona 5 Royal, which I think is one of the reasons that it, like, just totally blew up the way that it did. Like, Persona 5 Royal specifically. Like, Persona 5 was already a good game, but Persona 5 Royal, with the addition of Dr. Maruki, became such of a more topical and debatable game. It's like, which ending is really the good ending? You know, you've got the true ending, but which ending is really the good ending? To waifu or not to waifu? I honestly, I would probably be considered a little bit selfish because I like the Maruki ending. I like it where you agree with him and everyone gets to be happy, because the end of the world happens after that, and, like, yeah, it's the end of the world, but then no one's around anymore to be unhappy. No one's around anymore to see the end of the world. Like, you're just happy, and then it's gone. Trudy. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that. Legit, I just think Akechi has been through enough-ish. Other than that, sign me up, Maruki. Right? Like, he makes such a good argument. He really does. Like, I think all of us, like, feel that same compulsion to want to agree with him, because all of us have that little bit of selfishness that just wants to be like, no, just let me be happy. It's the last moments. I could stop the last moments, but it's the last moments. Let me be happy. It's like, it's so, it's almost the opposite of Persona 3. Like what happens near the end of Persona 3. Like, it gives you that choice.
Don't say the ending, because Meg was playing it for the first time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but it gives you that choice. And I'm just like, I feel so compelled to go that route with the Maruki. How about we shoot Akechi this time? Best of both worlds. He dies and we get to be happy. You just actually make sure Akechi's dead this time. I hear a happy squeaky Samara, who is now awake from her nap. So, in 3 this time, I would say Fuka. Oh, waifu talk. I hear a happy squeaky baby, which means she's up from her nap, which means I gotta find someone to raid, and we're gonna call it at that. We all agree that Maruki ending is best ending, apparently. Let's see, who do I have? What friends do I have online? Alright, cool. We've got a friend who is streaming Dragon Age, and one of the tags is mental health, so I guess it's a special mental health stream, which I think we need after that Maruki talk. Clearly, we need a day for that. So, we're gonna go ahead and do a rave. Great segue. I think we all need that. We're gonna go ahead and give her a raid. Thank you to everyone that popped in. Thank you again, Shadow Chris for the sub. Thank you, Amuse, for the sub. Thank you, Amuse, for the 50 biddies. Thank you to everyone that joined in, who popped in and popped out. And I don't like that. It's either less stuff or full harem. I've been waifuing Fushimi. Nice. Thank you for popping in. Thank you guys for giving me all your thoughts on all the lore, on all the endings. This has been a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for Funky Friday, where we'll continue Shrek's adventures. On Monday night, that's right, Monday night, at around 8 o'clock, we'll be starting up Dragon Age Origins from the very beginning, and we're going to be going through that. We're going to go on a full adventure together. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Shrek's Adventures, Saturday for Chris's Persona stream, because obviously I gotta mention it when we're talking about Persona. Thank you again. Let's go ahead and give a raid to a streamer. Oh no, we leave. Does that mean it's dinner time? Oh, Taco! Oh my god! Thank you for the 500 biddies! Oh, what a note to end on. Oh my god, Taco. Hi, thank you. Oh my gosh. I show up at breakfast and then I leave at dinner. All the love. You guys are too much. Oh, you guys are awesome. Hi, Detective. Hi, Taco Monkey. You're showing up right at the end. We're gonna go ahead and raid someone. Sorry I made it at the end, but sharing my support. No, it's okay. Thank you. You have absolutely nothing to apologize for. You just threw 500 biddies at us. Like, you're awesome. We're gonna go rate someone with the tag mental health. So after a tense discussion about what's right and wrong, let's go relax and enjoy a nice stream. Thank you so much again for stopping in. Thank you again, Taco, for the biddies. Thank you, everyone, for the biddies and the subs. Thank you so much for your support. This has been an awesome first affiliate stream. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye.